That's amazing. All right, thanks a lot, Angie. Yeah, it's one of the fastest growing outdoor activities in the U.S. Bird watching. We're showing how to attract feathered friends with do-it-yourself bird feeders, plus free bird seed. John Schaust with Wild Birds Unlimited joins us. John, I think you were on last month talking about some of the winter birds, and now we're talking about kind of a fun concept and really a way to attract birds now for a national contest that's going to be going on in February.
Right. Well, it's actually the Great Backyard Bird Count, and it's a way scientists can use all the citizens bird watchers across the country, families, individuals, whatever, in parks, backyard, in the neighborhood, wherever,
right,
to really tally over a 4-day period all the birds that are being seen. Last year there were over 600 species of birds counted throughout our named throughout the North America.
Right.
Over 17 million individual birds.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
so a lot of people, and all you have to do is real simple. You just get out there with your kids and count the birds and then put it online, and they really use this data to kind of get an idea how birds migrate or how they move around or what's
Think about
it. It's
this marvelous snapshot of where we're at every year. This is the 16th year. Every year at the same time, that snapshot across the country of where birds are. So we learned last year that the sandhill cranes, many of them, because it was so mild last year, did not migrate all the way down to Georgia and Florida. They stay here in Indiana.
Yeah.
And things like that.
And we talked about the drought last year, too, how we saw different birds because of how dry the conditions were in the summertime. Why February? Why is that just a good time of the year?
It's a good time because you're on the cusp of the spring migration, but you still have all the winter resident birds that are kind of where they're at. So it's just a really good time to do that. Now,
I would get beat up if I didn't ask this question about the robins. I've had a couple of emails about how fat these things are, but they're really not bigger than what they usually would be.
Correct.
They're just kind of, I guess they
during the cold they puff out their feathers to get an extra layer of insulated air insulation going. But we have a lot of robins around. The hawthorn trees seem to, or the crabapple trees seem to actually have a pretty good year despite the drought.
And I've got one in my yard. That's the reason why I probably saw one. Okay, well, let's talk about making some homemade bird feeders at your house.
Well, if you have feeders and you want to get ready for get the birds going, and if you haven't had your feeders filled, obviously number one step is to just fill those feeders. If you don't have a feeder, an easy, simple thing is take a milk jug, cut a couple of holes in it, put some seeds in there, string a string to it, and tie it onto a tree, and you've got a simple bird feeder. And again, we have little 2-pound bags of seed that would fill that a couple of different times. We're going to give away at our stores throughout the Indianapolis.
So if you're watching this segment, you got a bird feeder and you need new seed, just go out and mention our name at all your guys' locations, and you'll get a free 2-pound bag of that. So that's nice of you guys to help out on that.
Carmel, and Columbus, all those stores will be doing that, so that'll be great.
Okay, if you want to take it maybe up another notch with some bird feeders, or at least some stuff you can make.
If you've got some peanuts in the shell, just toss those out on the picnic table or the deck rail. Or if you really want to have some fun with the kids and the family, just simply take some things you probably already have around the house, some peanut butter and some cornmeal, mix those together, which I've already done.
Got that.
And you can simply take that and roll that onto a pine cone.
Okay.
And you could actually just use it like that if you want.
Keeps it all natural doing the pine cone.
But another fun thing to do at that point is just get yourself some seed and just coat the pine cone in seed, so you end up with something like this. You put a piece of string or a pipe cleaner on it and hang it up in the tree. Now, if you want to take
any certain height level on this, I mean, obviously for the kids and stuff, you want to see it. I mean, does it matter? Is it a better chance of getting birds at 5 feet compared to 10 feet?
It probably, if you're hanging a tree, it probably really doesn't. I mean, I'd put it eye level or above. Would be a good idea. You want it high enough so that any predator can't just jump up and grab it.
And so the push is now to get this stuff out there, so by the time we hit February, you've already attracted birds, because it takes a while.
Exactly. Sometimes it can, sometimes they'll come immediately, but just in case, we'll get it out now.
All right, sounds good. Hey, John, run out of time. Hey, thanks so much. Always a great time to have you on the show. I always like to hear a little bit more about what's going on in nature here in central Indiana. Link on to our homepage for more information about Wild Birds Unlimited and the Great Backyard Bird Count. Go to fox59.com. Links on the homepage on that. All right, let's talk about the web.